So the screwball name that I got was Orval Overall, one of the great pitchers from the early 20th century. He was drafted by the Reds from Tacoma of the PCL League, and get this, the 1904 Rule 5 draft. I didn't even know the Rule
Wow.
5 draft like dated that far back.
It's just in 400 years. That's amazing.
1904. That's crazy. He didn't really have overall. He didn't really have that long of a career. He had a 7-year career with the Reds and the Cubs mostly. His career ERA was actually 2.26. He's actually a pretty good pitcher for the Cubs. Funny enough, before the Cubs actually ended the World Series drought, 2016, he was on the last Cubs team to win the World Series in 1908, and he actually won the clinching game by shutting out the Tigers on 3 hits. So in that same game, he actually became the first pitcher to strike out 4 guys in 1 inning. Nothing ever happened like that in the playoffs until 2013. So those are a couple of incredible stats for Orval. He's from Farmersville, California. Okay, now I know where the family name Overall comes from. Because all farmers were overall, so maybe that's where. I don't know. Maybe that's where it came from. I don't know what his parents were thinking though, naming him Orval. His last name was Overall. Like, poor kid probably got made fun of all the time. Hi, I'm Orville from Farmersville, and everyone just like laughs in the room. But as we all know, the only other famous Orville is started a popcorn company in 1970. So there's big gap between his career and that of Orville Redenbacher, the popcorn king. So who did you get this week? I think I heard you got a good one for me.
Oh, you're gonna love this, man. It's Shooty Babbitt.
Oh, shoot!
Shooty.
Shooty.
Born, his real name is Mac Neil Babbitt. Born March
like
9th,
Mac Neil or two like Mac or
Mac
Neil.
Mac and Neil, yeah.
Lord,
middle name was Neil, yeah. Born March 9th, 1959, from Oakland, California. He was drafted by the A's, actually, his hometown team, in 1977, but he only played for 1 season as a second baseman. He only played 54 games from April to September 1981. He batted .256, no home runs, and 14 RBIs. Believe it or not, he began his career on a 7-game hitting streak, which was the second longest hitting streak in Oakland A's history. That's unbelievable.
Really? Oh my god, they've had some great hitters over there. Oh god.
Yep. The Ace manager that time, Billy Martin, commented that if you see Shooty Babbitt play second base for me again, I want you to shooty me. Unbelievable. Babbitt, after his very short career, went on to become a scout for the Diamondbacks and the Mets. In 2008, he has been working as a pre- and post-game TV color analyst for the Oakland A's.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And his son, Zach Babbitt, was drafted by the Dodgers in the 10th round of the draft in 2012.
Oh, he actually has a better hockey name than he does a baseball name. Give it Shooty Babbitt. She shooties, he scores.
Shooty out the lights, my friend. Shooty out the lights.
All right, so my screwball moment this week is 1978 World Series Game 4. Reggie Jackson, he deflects the ball using his hips. I don't remember hearing about this like when I was looking this up. Like, I don't know why this isn't one of the more talked
Mr.
about.
October.
More talked about player interference moments. So basically, the Dodgers were up 2-1 in the World Series and 3-1 in that game in the 6th inning. So Thurman was on second. Jackson's on first. Lou Piniella is at bat, and he hits a liner to Bill Russell, who stepped on second to force Jackson out. Then he threw to first, only to have the ball deflect off Jackson's hip into foul territory, which allowed Munson to score coming around third base.
Oh, my Lord.
The replays, they showed Jackson clearly stuck out his hip, but, I mean, in fairness to the umpires, when this is happening in like real time, it's almost impossible to see Jackson like purposely stick out his hip, because they really have to do the super slow motion to see him, that actual movement. It's not like he stuck out his whole leg out. I mean, that'd be obvious, but he made a slight quick hip movement that deflected the ball. I mean, really, once the ball leaves the second baseman's hands, they're watching the flight of the ball, not Jackson's hip movements. That's how quick it was. Also, that's how good of an arm Bill Russell had, that the ball went so fast. I mean, let's put it this way: the hips don't lie in this case. I didn't even need to make a pun for this moment.
Yes.
The
Yankees did not lie.
Oh, the replay doesn't lie, but yes, the hips obviously do. The Yankees, they ended up winning the game in extras, and then they won the World Series by winning like the next 2 games. So I mean, that was a huge moment. They ended up winning the World Series probably because of that happened. I mean, you never know, but at the same time, definitely a screwball moment for Reggie Jackson there. You got one of my favorite screwball moments.
Indeed, yes.
We definitely remember 100% because we bought tickets to see this guy play. But a week before that happened, he did something. Now, who was this man, Norbs?
Well, the lucky contestant was Sammy Sosa. When he was suspended 8 games for a cork bat he used back in June 3rd, 2003, against the Tampa Bay Rays. One of the most infamous moments in cork bat history, and you know who that infamous umpire was in that game? Tim McClelland.
Once again, making the list.
Yeah, 20 years earlier, he tossed out George Brett for his pine tard baseball bat. Yeah, I mean, Sammy Sosa was up to bat in the first inning with runners second and third. Sosa hit a sharp curveball off Rays pitcher Jeremy Gonzalez, shattering his bat. Mark Grusolani scored from third in that process. Tim McClelland was checking the bat along with the other 3 umpires, and they found a cork notched inside Sosa's inside part of his bat, the base part of the baseball bat. So it was ruled illegal. Grusolani had to go back to third because the run didn't count. But the Cubs still won that game 3-2. After the game, Sammy Sosa said that he normally uses it for batting practice, but he inadvertently used it during the game. So that's why.
That's what they all say. Just like steroids, those I accidentally popped them into my mouth.
Inadvertent.
These guys know what bats they're using. Come on, give me a break. How long has Sosa been playing the game at that point for him to be like, "Oh, I didn't know I was used it for batting practice"? Simon Sammy's cork and Sosa is more like it. I remember that moment because we literally bought tickets to the Jays game in right field.
Looking
supposed
forward
to play the Cubs.
Yeah.
This is the Cubs. They never play the Cubs. The interleague play, they hardly ever see them.
Yeah.
And the guy just happened to get suspended for that week. We were so mad.
We were screwed over.
First row in right field, just ready to give Sammy Sosa some heckling.
Yeah.
But well, I guess we'll have to. Hopefully, we'll get another moment like that in the future. We haven't had a cork bat since. I don't think. So we'll see what happens.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments below.